Now, just to begin the story, we have to travel back to the 19th century in the United States. This is a picture of probably the most famous economist who's ever lived, certainly the most popular one, and you've probably never heard of him. This is a picture of Henry George, who was an American political economist of the second half of the 19th century. And because you've never heard of him, I'd imagine this is testament to how amazingly successful the cover-up that I'm talking about has been. He wasn't a famous economist in a university. He was very much a public figure, though. He had no formal education. He worked as a newspaper editor in his 20s and 30s. But with no formal education, he nevertheless made a lifelong study of economics. He studied all of the great political economists that he could get his hands on: Smith, Ricardo, the French physiocrats, Mill, Malthus. His real genius was, and this I think something that Daniel Hannan would very much support, was he was a profound observer of the things that went on around him. And he was, above all, most fascinated by two interesting questions which were very pertinent in late 19th century America. The first was how to explain the seeming paradox of why poverty goes hand in hand with progress. And the world of the late 19th century was a time, a bit like our own, of enormous improvements in living standards across the world and revolution in the way that people produce things. But this paradox was something